We can go a little bit into politics if you'd like with that.
If I get into politics, your viewers are going to look away because I'm very like...
Be here all
A little
day.
bit away from politics. Yeah.
Just keep as much as away.
This one.
Yeah.
Great video.
Yeah.
Real estate is a lifestyle.
We try to keep as unbiased as possible.
Yeah.
Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's episode of What They Did Not Teach You in School. Today we have Andrew Moresi, good friend of mine,
Didn't go to school.
and luxury real estate agent in the area of Vaughan is predominantly where you are?
Vaughan, North Toronto, Etobicoke, North York areas,
Okay.
all over the city.
He's going to be talking to us a little bit about the real estate market, how things are going, answer some questions that a lot of people have in regards to purchasing real estate. How do the interest rates and everything like that affect real estates and mortgages? And we're going to be talking about that. Last time you were on was October, November.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
and
before
we were speculating on how the real estate market would be affected by the new mortgage rules. So why don't we start there? How does that affect the market and mortgage prices?
Sure.
What happened?
Well, most of the new mortgage rules, how they affected more the boroughs, the suburbs.
Okay.
Vaughan, Bradford, Innisfil,
Why so?
Mississauga. Just because Toronto seems to always be, certain pockets of Toronto is always sheltered. For instance, Rosedale, Lawrence Park,
That makes
Bedford Park,
sense.
Hogs Hollow. These areas are always prestigious. They're always valuable because there's never a lot of turnover.
What were the mortgage rule changes on January 1st? In your opinion, let's break it down.
They limited people's buying power.
Mhm.
So if I was, buying a house in November, I was approved for $1 million. As of January the 1st, that went down to about 800,000.
I see.
So now the house that I wanted, I can't afford because.
But it happened to everybody.
Happened
pretty
to
much.
everybody.
So that drove
Yeah.
prices down a little bit, no?
Yeah. Yes, somewhat. The prices have gone down a little bit. There are still alternative lenders out there that you can still get a mortgage without having to be pre-qualified through the stress test. So the stress test that they implemented is basically you have to get approved at around a 5% interest rate, which the interest rates are around 3, right? So it's a prime plus a certain percentage.
What usually happens is that if, let's say, the bank posts their rate on their website at 5%, really mortgage brokers give a discounted rate, down to like, it used to be like 2.5, 3%. And that's what you had to get approved at. All your ratios had to be good to get approved.
Exactly.
Now with this stress test, they're making you get approved for the posted rate, even if the mortgage broker brings your interest rate down to 3%, 3.5%, you still need to be able to carry that 5% mortgage.
100%.
Moving on, I just wanted to ask, how does this affect the difference between house prices and condo prices? Does it make a difference?
Right now, we've just been seeing a crazy amount of condo sales. Condos are going up like crazy.
Really? Why is that?
Just because it's more affordable. And
True.
people, and our generation is not the generation who wants to go and cut the grass. Our generation's not.
That's me. That's
we're
so
gonna
me.
we get home at 5 at night, and we want to eat and we want to relax. We don't want to go home. We don't want to garden. We don't want to plant tomatoes. We don't want to cut the grass. So our generation is becoming more.
Plant tomatoes. That's so Italian.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
But it's changing. So we want to go home and we want low maintenance. We want a smaller space, easier to clean. We're never home because now you have the husband and the wife working, whereas before it was predominantly just the husband. So the whole society's changed, and condos are the future. Anybody who tells me that someone who pays $1,000 a square foot for a condo is nuts, I think those people are just uneducated. Because you go to New York and you're paying 4,000 square foot a condo. You
Right.
go to South Korea, you're paying 12,000 square foot.
Go
a
to
condo.
Cali, it's the same thing.
You know
man.
what I mean? South Korea's got the highest real estate prices in the world, and they put New York as a joke. Like they look at New York prices, that's like rent. You know what I mean?
I've heard this.
So it's all relative, and if Canada and Toronto is going to become a world-class city, we're eventually going to get into the world-class real estate, and the construction that's being done. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great things going on, and there's a lot of money coming in. I can see condos being our future. Stacked townhomes are the future. The detached home will be like very, very rare, and anybody who owns a detached home will be in a very, very good financial position because they're going to be so rare.
So right now, condos are going up in value actually because of the affordability of it.
Yeah, you can buy a condo for $500,000, $400,000. You can't find a house. You can buy a condo for $500,000 in the city. So if you work at Yonge and Dundas, you're 10 minutes away, even if you have to walk or you have a subway. Whereas if you want to spend $500,000 on a home, you got to go to
Milton, Georgetown.
No, not even Milton you can't find. You got to go to like Innisfil, you got to go to Alliston.
True.
And you're talking 45 minutes from Vaughan, which is another half an hour from the city. So you're talking an hour and a half commute. And our generations, I don't think they're going to do that.
3-hour commute just to get to work.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense if you think about opportunity cost of that. You guys spend 3 hours, for the price difference plus gas.
Forget about and then maintenance on your vehicle. People don't take that into consideration. That's why you need someone like you, someone like me, to help guide you in those areas.
The reason why you want to use a professional is the ability to think objectively, right? Like, if I'm thinking about things for myself, your brain works in different ways where you make rationalizations for the decisions that you make excuses and like stuff like that, and it plays tricks on you, where if you hire a professional, one, they know what they're doing, and two is that they'll be able to tell you, no, you're wrong.
100%. And people think that it's a sales thing, right? And people got to get over that. Anytime I meet a client, I say, meet 2 to 3 other agents.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be the first and the only person you're meeting, because I want you to get a feel of what everybody else is like, and then come back to me. And then from there, you can make more of an educated decision. Just
True.
Don't pick your best friend's cousin's husband. Don't pick someone that is gonna look out for your best interest, and always look for a couple different options. But it'll work with one person. Choose one person. Don't try to get other people involved and then try to have 2 or 3 people working for you. It's not gonna happen.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about interest rates. About a year ago, you could get a mortgage for 2.5%, 2.6%, 2.7%. Now, I don't know, the last time I saw a mortgage, it was going for like 3.4, 3.5%.
Yeah, I think you could probably find 3.2. There's some brokers out there that have channels to get you still 2.99.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about that. What's the pros and cons of that? Because there's obviously a catch to having a 2.99.
There are certain catches. Like, for instance, if you would call, people don't know this, and I just found this out recently after speaking with certain mortgage brokers that do mortgages, is OFSFI, which is the government body who does all these changes.
OFSI.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are institutions out there that aren't implementing the stress test because they are provincially governed, not federally governed. So, for instance, like you go to a credit union like Duca does not have to qualify you on the posted rate. They qualify you on their rate. Now, you're going to pay a premium. You may get a CIBC bank rate at 3%, but Duca will charge you 3.2. But you won't have to. You'll be able to qualify for a much higher purchase price.
True.
So a lot of real estate agents don't even know this, which we should know a little bit about mortgages and have a little bit.
Definitely.
And then give them someone that they know. But there's a lot of different rates out there. Make sure you choose, again, it's like us. You got to choose someone that you trust, because you're not dealing with, a candy bar at the convenience store. You're dealing with your livelihood. People got to realize that they got to trust that person, and they got to be able to call that person at any time and say, listen, what's going on with this, and that person's got to be reciprocal in that sense too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I know that you're really, really good at.
100%.
And that's something that in my field, in mortgage field, you need to have that person you're gonna be able to call, and not only just call about business. Call them and say, what's going on? How you doing? How's the family? If you have that relationship, then you know that you're there. You're there for a long time.
As of right now, the real estate prices seem to be going up, and people think that they're going to continue to go up. But we're going to see what happens. The Canadian government's saying they want to see how the real estate market adapts to the new interest rate hikes, and they play it by ear. They don't play it by ear. They make very educated decisions. But
I don't know if they're making educated decisions.
That's a whole other conversation that we'll have for sure. A lot of people are looking to purchase a house in the next little while. Our target market is probably like 25 to 35 years old. They're looking for their first property. What do you look for in a property? And take me through that process. Like, if someone's looking for a property right now, what are they looking for in order to qualify as that's the place that I want to do? Like, take us through that thought process.
Real estate will never change. It's 3 key words with real estate. It's location, location, location. That will never change. Now, you have to have a budget, and you have to find within that budget the best location.
Okay.
Right? Now, sometimes the best location doesn't satisfy your lifestyle. Just fine, that's different for a residence. But for an investment, you always want to buy location. You have people buying, for instance, in Bradford. Right now, Bradford pricing, in the heat of the market, you could sell a house in Bradford for 1.4 million. Now you're lucky if you get it for 1.1. So, you know,
Bradford was hot last year.
Crazy. When it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, it's bad. That's why Toronto is always not necessarily sheltered, but they're always the demographics and everything changes whenever you have a 416 or Toronto address. So your market's still going down because there's some areas in Etobicoke that are taking a little bit of a hit, but it's not crazy. You know, $40,000-$50,000. But then it's all relative. When did you buy the property last? So when you're looking as an investment for someone like you say, Andrew, I want to buy something. I want a good return on investment. Good return is going to be very, very hard unless you have a lot of money down. So what the key is having.
Why is that? A lot of money down.
Because the pricing, the way the pricing is, and the way the mortgages are, is you'll have a mortgage that's $2,000 a month, and then you'll have maintenance fees, for instance, in a condo that are $300 a month, but you're only getting $2,000 in rent. So now you're at a net loss of $300. But if you're looking at it in the overall picture, that you're
especially over the long term too, 10 years, 15 years, when that mortgage is paid down, or if you have the capital to pay down that mortgage.
Exactly. That $300 is going to be, you're going to be laughing because your principal that you're going to increase is going to be leaps and bounds just because you bought in the right location. There are people that I sold condos for $600 a square foot. 2 years later, it's now $800 a square foot. You're talking $120,000 on a purchase of $300,000. That's like
crazy,
stupid.
That's
it's
why
like
people
40%.
That like doubles people's incomes and stuff.
That's why. So, but you're talking about location, and you're talking about good deals. Right now, there are some good deals, even with condos.
True, because interest rates go up. Some people are feeling a little squeezed. You know, maybe they want to get rid of that property. They're panicking. Whatever the case is, there could be some deals.
Yeah.
And that's what we say to people all the time, whether you're in the stock market or the real estate market. If the price goes down in value, that's when things are on discount, and that's when you should be taking some action.
People have the mentality wrong. Is when things go down, they want to sell everything. That's the worst thing. You got to buy everything when the markets are down, and then when the markets are up, that's when you reevaluate and you say, okay, where can we go from here? And then that's when you might want to liquidate some things. But always look at the market. Always talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about. And when the markets are down, is where the best opportunities, and that's where the rich people get even richer.
When shopping around for different realtors, just like you said, and we say the same thing, when looking for a professional, you want to find somebody that you trust, that's unbiased, that it truly takes your best interest in mind when making when giving advice. What do people want to look for in a realtor? What makes you different from all the other realtors out there?
You got to look at knowledge, and you got to look at basically, it's all about customer service, and it's all about a relationship. This is a relationship business. This is not a sales business. People don't call me and say, Andrew, I want to buy a house because I'm a good salesman. People call me because they trust me. People call you because they trust you, and they want to know what you think. They want to know your opinion on certain things because you're in the business and you know what you're talking about. Whether it's me or somebody else, you always want to call someone that you can trust. Don't call someone because you see their signs everywhere. Don't call someone because their ads are in the newspaper. Those people, the reason why they advertise like crazy is because they need to advertise like crazy because they don't have that referral clientele. The negotiating is a very important part of this business, but it's not a big piece of the pie. It's a smaller piece.
But the last question is what's one thing that you know as a realtor? You've been doing this for how long now?
Almost 5 years.
5 years as a realtor. You've been doing it for 5 years. What's one thing that you wish everybody knew about the business, real estate in general, that you know that the average Canadian doesn't know?
It's not as easy as people think it is. The problem with my business is, and I'm not sure how your business works, but with real estate, it's one of those things where you can get your license in 6 months. And people think, let's get the license easy. They don't understand. Within the first year, 50% of people who apply for the real estate license drop out, and then in the second year, it's 60% of those people that drop out. So it's not an easy business. People think that you can make a lot of money. It's not about money sometimes. It's about you're taking people's lives. You know, someone has $200,000 as a down payment. That's their livelihood, right? You cannot just be a teacher and do this part-time. There are a lot of people that do that. And unfortunately, that's why we developed a bad reputation. You cannot dedicate 20% of your time in this business because people aren't dedicating 20% of their assets. They're dedicating all their assets to it. This is their livelihood. So one thing I want to tell people is if you're going to do this business, make sure you are doing it full time. That's the way this business is. It's a 24/7 business.
All right, there you have it. Some of the things you definitely are not taught in school with Andrew Moresi here talking about real estate. Stay tuned. We'll have these videos posted throughout the week on our YouTube. Until next time, Mr. Moresi, thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, take it easy. Peace.